breaking news, CBS is canceling The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Colbert just making the shocking announcement at his show taping. Now, it's unclear why the show is canceled, but it comes after Colbert spoke out against his parent company, Paramount's $16 million settlement with Trump over the editing of a 60 Minutes interview. In fact, here's what Colbert said just a few days ago.
Now, I believe that this kind of complicated financial settlement with a sitting government official has a technical name in legal circles. It's big fat bribe. Because this all comes as Paramount's owners are trying to get the Trump administration to approve the sale of our network to a new owner, Skydance.
I never thought that these guys were funny. You know, I used to actually kind of enjoy the late night show with, I think it was like when I was coming up, it was like Bob Carson or something like that. And then I also enjoyed, you know, a little bit of Jay Leno and stuff. But I don't know if they just got different writers and different producers, but these people just don't be funny like that. I honestly can see, I mean, I know that it's financial. I know that your grandma probably still watch them on TV and stuff like that. But I can understand why a lot of these people are being canceled. These people just don't be funny. And yeah, I know I only be having a few thousand people watching or whatever and so on and so forth and all of that. And I know that they got the big bucks, but I know I'm funnier than them. I know I'm funnier than them. I know every day without a whole team of cameramen and producers writing my jokes, but we just freestyling and we going improv every day. I know that I'm better than these people. I know that I'm funnier than them. I know that 2K is funnier than them. These people don't be funny, bro. Honest to God, they don't. They don't be interesting. They don't be funny. They just be popular and they just be getting pushed by the media. They are not funny at all. Honestly, I think that these people been stealing money for a long time. Because who watching them and who finding this entertainment? Did you see that joke? Did you see the joke? Look at the joke.
Trying to get the Trump administration to approve the sale of our network to a new owner, Skydance.
It's not hitting, bro. It's honestly. And now, and so, you know, just same way that they be blaming it. All is because of a lawsuit. All is because I spoke up against the company. Joy Reid did the same thing. I'll get to her later in the show. I didn't even plan on talking about her. But these people just don't be funny. Honest to God, they don't be. They don't be. They don't be funny at all, bro.
And now hearing that show is canceled. Brian Stelter's out front. I mean, Brian, what more are you learning about what is frankly a stunning announcement? When we were talking about it, just found out about it here in this commercial break, I said, wait, what? What just happened?
It really doesn't make any sense from the normal business logic of television goes like this. Stephen Colbert is the highest rated program in late night television. He beats his competitors. He's been going at it for 10 years, and frankly, he's been on a hot streak lately. So by the business logic of television, normally he would be in a very safe spot. However, CBS says this is a financial decision given the difficulties with the entire late night sector. And there is some truth to that explanation. I reported a couple years ago about the Late Late Show ending with James Corden because it wasn't profitable anymore. So there might be some rationale to this CBS announcement. But almost everybody, upon hearing about this, is connecting it to the Paramount settlement from 2 weeks ago. Because as you said, it was just 2 weeks ago that President Trump struck a deal with the parent of CBS, that $16 million settlement. Of course, Trump later said that there were other terms on top of the $16 million. He referenced getting public service announcements from CBS, for example. And all this comes as one owner of CBS, Sherry Redstone, is about to hand off to a new owner, David Ellison, and his company Skydance Media. There have been speculation raging online for the last 2 weeks about whether Skydance was going to try to push Colbert out. In fact, this had been such a hot topic that Colbert came back from vacation on Monday and he made jokes about it. He said he had a new mustache and so the new owners wouldn't be able to find him. So on Monday, Colbert was joking about possibly being in danger. On Wednesday, he found out his show was being canceled. Tonight, he announced it. And this all takes effect next May, Aaron. So he does have one more season. But this means one of the staunchest Trump critics on television will be leaving.
He messed around and found out. He messed around and found out. And so I'm going to give a little bit of my own insight based off of what I believe happens and how it is that I know that a lot of these deals are structured. Most of the time, well, all right, let me break it down like this. I don't think it has as much to do with criticizing Trump as it has to do with whether or not the networks are profitable. Listen, this is an easy scapegoat opportunity for them to be able to say, yo, we selling the company and, things just is not profitable. It's easier for them to say, yo, we're going to blame this. It's because we critical of Trump. But let me tell you something. When the money is rolling in, nobody really cares. When the money is booming, nobody really cares. They can sit there and say, well, they were beating their competitors. But again, are you profitable? Are you profitable is always going to be the question. If you can't justify the cost of paying Stephen Colbert, the staff, the producers, if you are not generating enough revenue, and let me just tell you this, and I've been saying this for a long time, everything is going to turn to whether or not you can self-sustain. The television creation industry, show industry, is not going to be based off of whether or not you are able to beat in the ratings and none of that type of stuff, because it's all going to go to a self-sustained model. Remember in the music industry where they used to have A&Rs and they used to have an artist development track, and then they would produce people, and it would be so many people that never got on or never really got shelved because they never panned out, but then there would be other people that eventually came up with a hit because they gave them their advance money or whatever, and that artist development and the traditional model of what record labels did is different now, because the biggest competitors are Netflix and YouTube. Traditional TV is going away. So in order for them to survive, they're going to have a hybrid model. That hybrid model is going to be, yes, you still are going to have network TV because you're going to hold on to it until it's no more. The same way that we got radio, but nobody really listens to radio. But then you're going to have that hybrid model where the majority of your content is consumed online, and that's where they're going to continue to sell the ads. The numbers are going to matter. One of the reasons why I say that I'm not even listening to anybody, I could show y'all my emails. My emails are booming with people. Hey, we want to have a meeting with you, so on and so forth. And I put my people on it, but then I say, I don't even want to talk until after I hit a certain number. So let's talk in the spring of next year. And then we can revisit this, because to be self-reliant and independent with a low-cost business model, but still creating great content, is going to be the wave. And then networks are going to, and this is just my opinion, networks are going to start licensing shows from self-sustaining creators. In the music industry, they started to give distribution deals. They say, well, we will give you a certain amount of money in order for you to produce a certain amount, and then we'll bust down the profits after we get a return on our investment for whatever the business model is. You've seen it with Cash Money. You've seen it with Rock Nation. You see it with all of these platforms, right? Basically, they want to get out of the business of trying to spend all of the money to produce a show that may not hit. And they want to start going with artists that already have motion. It's so much easier to get somebody to bring their audience and that have a proven concept over into a network versus trying to develop a new star and then bring them up from the trenches. If you are not going to be the person that has some level of creative control, that can control costs and say, hey, give me the bag, I'm gonna license my content out to you, then you are not going to be a person that survives in this thing. I see a lot of, for example, TikTok creators and all of this type of stuff. It's a couple that's going to break through, but most of them is just going to be micro creators, because they don't have the vision for understanding exactly what a lot of these network executives and where the industry is going itself. If you can't develop and produce your own show, if you can't hold people's attention for the next 2 to 3 hours, if you can't produce a low-cost model while at the same time showing consistency and growth and being able to pitch yourself and say, hey, listen, I'm doing 50 million views a month, or I'm doing, 47 million views every 4 days, and this is the traction that I got, and this is what my growth looks like. If you can't start building down the analytics and then have a pitch deck based off of what they see, because they're going to reach out to the people that they know. You know who I think is going to get a big deal soon? I could be wrong. You know who I think is going to get a big deal soon? Gilbert Arenas. And I'm not just talking about like, no, hey, DraftKings or, that type of stuff. I'm talking about somebody. If I'm Fox Sports, for example, forget Stephen Colbert, all right? Forget Stephen Colbert. Because this is just an example. If I'm Fox Sports, for example, right? Because they just fired Speak, with Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Ocho, and they fired the facility and all of them 3 shows. If I'm Fox Sports 1, I'm going to Gilbert Arenas and I'm saying, hey, listen, fam, you got a great thing over there with Gil's Arena. I want to do a licensing deal with you. You keep doing it the way you doing it. We don't need no studio costs. You already built your own studio. You already got your own thing. But I want to show this on our network, and then I want to license the content. And I already want to get a produced show, not something that we got to put together ourselves. I want to do a deal with you. If I was a network, if I was Fox Sports, and if I was trying to produce a show to compete, I would go to Gil and I would say, hey, fam, I want to give you a bag. I want you to come over to the network. That's what I would do. 100%. I would start, if I can't keep giving y'all all of my, I would be poaching shows all day long. All day long. I would be poaching shows all day long. Watch what I do. I'm going to do it. But I'm not gonna be the person that did it. Like, I'm gonna be the person that's poaching people. Listen, I got a vision, and I know y'all don't see it, and I can't really announce it. And maybe I'll talk about it on the Patreon, on the content creation, on my next content creation Patreon that I do on Monday. I'm gonna be in Vegas, so I'll do it from Vegas. I have a vision for what I'm gonna build, and it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, and I guarantee you I'm gonna win. I guarantee you that I'm going to win. The business side of me is going to show way more in 2026, and y'all going to see the vision finally start to come through. But I first have to do it and break through it myself so that I can open up the wave and the door for everybody else. Watch the vision. Watch what I do. Watch what I do. Oh, listen. I ain't even going to have no more haters. They just going to have to bow down and acknowledge it. They're going to have to say it. They're going to say, you know what, Anton? I had a lot to say about him, but he did it.